Last year on Total Rugby, we met an inspirational youngster from Perth in Western Australia, Connor James. Diagnosed with brain cancer aged just 8, the bravery he showed battling his illness inspired his dad into writing children's books. The main character, a rugby-loving boy called Bootsy.
It made me feel like treatment was going quickly when Dad was writing them, and every time I went to have treatment he kept thinking of good stuff, right, and it was really good. Like, it made me really happy.
Well, the final book in the series has been published, and we thought that was reason enough to take Connor to meet his rugby hero, Western Force and Wallabies star David Pocock. Since making his debut for Australia in 2008, Pocock has rapidly established himself as a world-class number 7. His display against the Springboks in their World Cup quarter-final last year, a typical example of his brilliance.
I played a lot of my rugby in the back line through school, and then a coach sort of pulled me aside and said, I think you should probably have a crack at flanker. There are times in games where you wish you were either on the wing or in the back line somewhere. When the forwards are working hard, the backs just seem to be summing things up and then waiting to call for the ball. But no, I love being in amongst it all.
I've got a few questions for you, David.
Yeah.
When and where did you first start playing rugby?
First started playing rugby in a little town called Gwera in Zimbabwe. I think it was probably 7 years old when I started at school.
If you hadn't become a professional rugby player, what would you like to have been and why?
I always wanted to be a game ranger in a national park. I thought that would be a pretty cool job. We moved to Australia in 2002 when I was 14. We were farming in Zimbabwe and sort of lost our farm in the redistribution program. And I felt so fortunate to be able to move to Australia, sort of start a new life, and I love the place. It was very welcoming, and I definitely consider it home now. But having seen how so many people around the world live, I felt like if I had the opportunity to give back, I definitely want to. So in 2009, set up a 80-20 vision, and we're supporting a community development project in Zimbabwe. And I guess going back, you think you're going to help out and help people, but you actually realise that you can learn so much from people living in what you'd call poverty, and just how much people value the simple things, family, community. I think we take a lot for granted in developed countries.
Like all great open-side flankers, he's able to steer the course between the legal boundaries and overstepping the mark.
Well, I think that the laws are a big part of what provides the opportunity for specialist open-side flankers. Whilst they've been changed quite a bit over the past five years or so, the better players find a way to adapt to the referees and find the opportunity at the breakdown to force turnovers and really make their presence felt, particularly in defence. The biggest thing is probably getting an understanding of the game and reading it well. You look at the better flankers in the world, and they read the game so well that they just pop up at the right time. You think, how did they get there?
He'll captain Australia in the inaugural Rugby Championship. His first match as skipper was not an occasion to remember, though. A home loss against Scotland ended with him being treated for hypothermia. But he recovered to lead his country to a series win against Wales. The Australian public are accustomed to success, as he's seen most recently in their reaction to disappointing Olympic results.
You've got swimmers who win silver, the second best in the world in that particular event, apologising to Australia for not winning gold. And I think that's just crazy. I mean, the expectations that we're putting on athletes, so much has to go right for you to perform at your best, and for someone else not to have a freakishly fast swim to win. And I think it's the same in team sport. You've really got to enjoy all the training and the stuff that makes the game, because it's about a lot more than just winning on the day.
Connor's latest scan was all clear. It's still a long road to full recovery, but like Bootsy, he's a battler. It puts rugby firmly in perspective, but with players like David Pocock to look up to, he's got no finer example of the spirit and values so important to rugby.